Hi everyone, and welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, my name is Danielle. I am an American expat living in Germany, and today we're going to be diving into another cultural video. Today's video is going to be about how Germany has changed me, and we're going to talk about how it has changed me for better and maybe for worse. So the first thing that I have noticed is that Germany has made me more resilient, and it has made me more resilient to a couple of things. First being criticism. Germans tend to have a pretty direct way of getting their point across. I've definitely noticed since living here, people don't hold back judgment, and I feel like it's given me a bit of a backbone when it comes to receiving judgment. As a matter of fact, I had considered starting a YouTube channel back when I lived in San Francisco, but I think that living in Germany actually gave me the guts to do so. I think the thing that I was most worried about with starting YouTube was the criticism I was going to receive. Because on the internet people have less of a filter system, obviously, because they're hiding behind their computer screens. When I moved to Germany, I got used to people kind of talking to me in a way that I wouldn't have been used to being talked to in America, but like to my face. So like honestly, like comments on the internet just seemed pretty minute in comparison. It really depends on the criticism. If it's constructive criticism, sometimes I'm just like, okay, whatever. Maybe that was uncalled for. Maybe I didn't ask for that, but it's just like, I just blow it off. But if I feel like I'm being bullied, or if I feel like people are kind of reflecting their own flaws onto me because of their own insecurities, I will speak up for myself. But for the most part, I've just been like, you know what, I'm just going to be the bigger person and just walk away. And I've just gotten quite used to just filtering out the people who just don't have a filter system. And don't get me wrong too, I'm not talking about all Germans. As a matter of fact, a lot of the younger generations are super lovely. They're also very well traveled, so they have a different social conduct. The next way that Germany has made me more resilient is to weather. Now this could just be merely a California problem. Obviously in America we have places that are even colder than Germany, like Chicago or something like that, where it's literally like you're stuck in your house because you're snowed in for like a month. So I mean, I guess that can happen here too, but so far in my 10 years I've never been snowed in. But I will say that because the public transport system is so good here, I haven't really had a need to learn to drive, so I've just become very resilient to weather. I'm always prepared for everything. I'm very outdoorsy. Compared to before, going out in my flip-flops and maybe sweats, like I just feel like I'm always prepared for pretty much everything. It wasn't always like that. As a matter of fact, in the beginning, I would get a lot of remarks from friends and family members being like, you are really underestimating the weather today now, aren't you? It looks nice, but it can change. So I feel like I'm just always prepared for any kind of weather. I think that this change I'm about to tell you is going to make a lot of people happy who watched my German culture shocks video. That is that I am not as good at small talk. That doesn't mean that I am not a fan of it. It's just that I've gotten worse with it over the years. I have even found myself to be a little bit taken aback when people ask me kind of more personal questions at the checkout. It's just not something I'm accustomed to or used to anymore, and I hope I don't come off rude. As a matter of fact, sometimes I feel like I probably come off a little bit more distant and maybe a little bit more rude when I do make my travels to the US. As a matter of fact, one time both me and my husband, I had only been in Germany for like 3 years or something like that. There was an old guy who just passed us by. We were in just like my mom's apartment complex, just outside walking around, and he was just like, you know, walk in and just, you know, like cheerful, and he's like, how are you guys going? How is your day? How long have you been together? And we both were just a bit like taken aback by it, even me, somebody who's an American. And then we told him, and then when he walked away, he just goes, that's a nice quiet couple. And that's just really funny to hear, because I'm a pretty outgoing, a little bit, tiny bit outspoken, speaking a little bit too loud personality type anyway. So for somebody to pick that up on me was really weird, and that's when it occurred to me that I had been changed. Another one that I think people are going to really like from my last video, that is that I am not freaked out by nudity. I got so much people calling me a prude, and I really didn't appreciate it. And I don't think you know me. Like, if you haven't been watching my videos for a while, you know I'm not a prude, for goodness sakes. I have a video up of me giving birth. 11 million people have watched me give birth. I breastfeed in public. I whip it out whenever, however, without a cover. If I'm on the beach and there's no cover, I'll change into my bathing suit on the beach. It's just I prefer to wear my bikini, and I don't really see how bikinis are considered prudish. As a matter of fact, I don't really see how Americans are considered prudish either, because a lot of pop culture is a little bit out there, if you haven't noticed. It really just comes down to the fact that it's just a culture shock. Americans simply will just wear their bathing suit when it comes to being at the swimming pool. It's just a culture thing. Just as an example, just as it feels for a German to probably walk into a sauna with their trunks on or their one piece on or whatever, it would feel just as weird to an American to go in there in the nude. It's just not what we're used to. That's all it is at the end of the day. And maybe Americans are slightly more prudish in some ways, but I think we're far from just straight up prudes. The next one is that I am more appreciative of good weather, and again, this could just be a California thing. In Germany, winter can last about 7 months or so it's like more than half of the year, and it's really helped me really appreciate the sunshine. I actually find I spend more time outside since I've lived here, which is kind of sad if you think about it, just because when it is nice weather, you don't hesitate to go out and just enjoy it, and it makes it so much better. Like, that sun just feels a million times better after like a week of rain. Like, it just makes the good times even better. Another way I feel like Germany has changed me, you might disagree with this, you might think that I'm still a pretty loud, obnoxious person. Again, that's kind of just part of my personality type as well, but Americans tend to be kind of loud and just really, when they're having a good time, they're having a good time. When they're having a conversation, everybody knows about it. We tend to laugh a little bit louder than your average Germans hanging out in a cafe. So I have noticed that like I've kind of toned down a bit. Like, I'm not as flamboyant as I was a little bit, just to kind of respect the peace that Germans seem to like to have. They like things to be a little bit more low-key. When I speak especially to other German people where their aura is just telling me calm down, like we don't need to be overly excited about this, then I'm just like, okay, I'm stressing them out a little bit with my overly excited nature, so I just tone it down a little bit. The last thing I'm going to talk about is probably my favorite way that Germany has changed me, and that is that I'm just in general more conscious about things. I recycle, I compost, I know how to organize my garbage by now. There are just a lot more people in Europe in general, not just Germany, but maybe even especially so Germany, who are just very aware of their environmental footprint that they are leaving. I just live a more green lifestyle. I am not going to sit here and say that I am perfect, but I definitely am just more aware than I used to be, and I definitely think that that's something that I will cherish forever, because yeah, we do need to actually be making better decisions for the environment and also for just humanity and for the animals. I'm also a vegan now, and I don't know, I'm pretty sure I probably would have been in America too. As a matter of fact, America's a lot more like vegan crazy than Germany is, I'd have to say, at least in the South. I know Berlin is probably a little bit more vegan friendly than it is down here. But yeah, I think that that's pretty much all the ways that Germany has changed me over the last 10 years. Probably not all, actually, but the ones that I could come up with for now. I'm a pretty strong personality type, so I'm not like gonna just follow the crowd, you know what I mean? Like, my husband was trying to come up with things that had changed me, and he's like, yeah, you have changed, but he's like, you're still very set of your ways. I'm still me, I'm just a little bit more Germanized, I guess you can say. I'm gonna go ahead and go. If you guys want to see more from me, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and the notification bell if you don't want to miss any uploads. I make lots of videos about this. As a matter of fact, I'm on a bit of a roll with the cultural ones, so if you're interested in this topic, definitely subscribe. And also, I'm on Instagram daily if you guys want to check that out. So yeah, I will see you guys next time. Bye! So with everything just feeling as stagnant as it was, I was beginning to want to go back. I was like, well, I think it'd be better if I just go back and finish my studies. You're almost done with your master's now. You can find a real job. Oh, and of course, something I completely forgot to mention is before we left, we had to get married.